This happened to me. I didn't cause this. I didn't do it. This happened to me, and it can happen to
Rihanna has barely pushed out her third baby, and she's already out here being messy by spilling the tea on Beyoncé allegedly covering up for Diddy and indulging in those freak-offs. A lot of people have always wondered why Rihanna never worked with Beyoncé, even though they were both so close to Jay-Z, and it looks like we now have the answer to that question. Rihanna went from calling Beyoncé her biggest inspiration to now barely talking about her and paying her dust. It turns out that apart from Rihanna having to deal with Jay-Z making advances at her and allegedly even seeing her in his office when she was just 17, she also had to deal with Beyoncé trying to force her into freak-offs with Diddy. According to reports, Rihanna thought she could confide in Beyoncé when was going through all of that mess with Jay, but she quickly found out that Beyoncé wasn't a girl's girl like she makes herself out to be. People actually found out just how close Beyoncé and Diddy were when Freddie, who was a member of the group, the band from Diddy's former show on MTV, making the band, revealed that back in the day when Diddy made them walk all the way to downtown to get him a cheesecake from the cheese factory, it actually wasn't for Diddy, it was for Beyoncé, and she's the one who told Diddy to make them walk instead of using a car. It's unclear the exact part of New York they were in at the time, but the trip to downtown by foot was 4 hours long, and he made them walk there to get him a cheesecake. This was one of the earliest signs that Diddy was a sick individual, but a lot of people were too busy cackling at him making these boys walk that long for some cheesecake that they overlooked it. During a recent interview, Freddie P finally revealed who the cheesecake was for, and it turns out it was for Beyoncé. This whole time, we thought Diddy punished these boys for his own satisfaction, when it was really all the request of Beyoncé. Apparently Beyoncé was the one who told Diddy that she wanted cheesecake, but instead of making someone from her team go get it for her, she allowed Diddy to make the members of the band walk for hours to get it and humiliate them on national television. And you'd think that she'd be disgusted by the fact that Diddy put them boys through that just for her to get that cheesecake, but according to Freddie, she didn't care at all and went on to enjoy that cake.
This whole time we thought Diddy punished these boys for his own satisfaction.
But this is where things get even more disturbing. Word on the street is that at some point Jay and Beyoncé tried to get our girl Rihanna to join them in those freak-offs, and that's why she ran away from the industry when she refused to do those freak-offs. They tried to sabotage her by leaking her album Anti, and that's when she knew it was time to leave. People feel like this is why Rihanna is so hesitant on doing music again, because she knows what she went through and has no interest in dealing with it again, especially when she already makes billions of dollars from Fenty anyway now. Just for a little bit of context, Rihanna actually used to love Beyoncé at one point and even called her biggest inspiration.
A lot of people don't know that cheesecake we went and got was for Beyoncé. She was upstairs the whole time. What we was talking about again? Hold on. Yeah, that's a fun fact. People don't know. People like, y'all walked together cheesecake. It was for Beyoncé. I'm the type of nigga. I listen to everything you say as if it's a contract. So if you say, walk to the store, or walk to get me some cheesecake, I'll walk to get you some cheesecake, but I'm not walking back. And that's just what me and Darlon did. And they like, why y'all, you know, they hot. Like, y'all cheating. And we like, he told us to walk. He ain't tell us to walk back. So we already in the hotel like 3 hours before they got there. When they said they was coming, we went and met them in front of the building. And you know the first thing that nigga said out of his mouth? That nigga said, they said, we got the cheesecake. He was like, I want that shit, take that shit upstairs for Beyonce. Then he said, they was like, yeah, man, we wanted to tell you, Fred and Darlon, they ain't walk back. You know, trying to be on some snitching shit. He's like, I ain't tell you niggas to walk back.
However, their relationship went downhill when Rihanna began receiving mainstream success. The more she got to know Beyoncé, that love started to disappear. Things took a turn for the worse when Beyoncé dissed Rihanna on her song Bow Down. People dragged Beyoncé for being a hypocrite because she went from preaching about girls running the world to calling those same girls B words and demanding for them to bow down to her.
I was at a party at Diddy crib in LA. This was the beginning of 2020. You know what I mean? Diddy had put everybody else out the crib, like the influx of people, he had put them out. But he had took a liking to me in particular around the time, man. It was really, you know what I mean, like putting his arm around me.
Right.
So he had put majority of the people out, but he allowed me to stay in there. Mm-hmm. Me and, you know, maybe about 15 others, you know.
Right.
Jay-Z and Beyonce being, you know, 2 of the other 15 people in the room. So that'll just put it into perspective of the type of company I was in at the moment, you know. And she came over and introduced herself to me like as if she had to. Beyonce, cut it out. But I'm a big fan of your work, you know what I'm saying? Whoop the whoop, and that was just dope. That was dope as hell to me, man. That was dope.
What he is a broke down Mandingo fighter still working on behalf of the NFL. That's what he is. Period. You want to know what else I also find funny? That he did that interview with the baby person who sat there and told him about when he met Beyonce. Y'all remember that? That happened on Shay Shay. And he talked about how he was at the Diddy party at Diddy's house. And how after, you know, the festivities were winding down and it was getting later into the middle of the night, approaching 3 a.m., Diddy got rid of almost everybody, but he let the baby stay behind with him and his close friends. And then he talked about how Beyonce was there and Jay-Z was there. Not at their house, at Diddy's house. And how Beyonce presented herself to him. And she didn't have to do that because he knew who she was and he couldn't believe she was talking to him. But she approached him. Kind of like how she approached that old friend of his when he said that he was at the party and the little people was there and she asked him, "Isn't this sexy?" My. How illuminating. There's been a lot of freaking off going on for a long time. Why does everybody keep... Let me tell you this. Beyonce, Giselle Knowles Carter. It does not matter how much money they spend, how many people, those tickets ain't gonna sell. You're caught. I wish you had the common sense that animals do when they're caught. They just surrender. But no, y'all gonna fight it to the very end. Y'all gonna bring this broke down old NFL bum who apparently will do anything with his genitals to help cover or create validity where there is none with the weirdos. With his little orange purse. Screwing people's kids. Screwing kids young enough to be his grandchildren. Shame on you. You a dirty, old man. Period.
The world, and instead of Beyonce just taking her L and realizing she was in the wrong for coming for Rihanna, like that she got super defensive and refused to apologize.
Yeah, she wrote me this cute little letter and she signed it with her autograph. It was so cute. When I first met her, and she wrote, she was telling me, just let loose when you perform and just have fun and be in control.
The world, and instead of Beyonce just taking her L and realizing she was in the wrong for coming for Rihanna, like that she got super defensive and refused to apologize.
Down B over and over from the woman who preaches empowering women is a bit unsettling to some.
I just feel like it's kind of, it's hard to swallow. Just very hard to swallow, having seen her in a different light.
I don't like it. I don't think it's her. I don't think it goes to what she represents.
I love Beyonce, but I honestly think that Jay-Z's putting thoughts in her head.
You're on a Pepsi can, for goodness sakes, to tell B words to bow down. And then you're saying girls run the...
This pissed off Rihanna, and she took to Twitter to shade Beyonce. She posted an article crowning herself the Queen of Pop in the UK and captioned it, "I only know how to be number one. I could use a challenge. How'd I feel down there on your knees?" A lot of people believe that Beyonce started hating Rihanna after rumors started going around that Jay-Z was messing around with Riri. However, it's now looking like Rihanna refusing to freak off with her, and Diddy might have also been another reason now, in case you somehow didn't know. Rihanna's publicist started a rumor that Jay-Z was having an affair with Rihanna, but later backtracked with this statement that said, "The PR stunt I did was out of desperation to help break Ponder replay. It was reckless, and I didn't think it was going to work. I was just throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what would stick." A lot of people didn't buy this story, especially after Rihanna confessed to Jay allegedly seeing her in his office. She said the day she got signed, Jay locked her up in his office for hours and didn't allow her to leave till she signed with him. But here's the Thing though, people speculate that he did more than just force her to sign a contract. Mind you, she was still a minor at the time.
The reason I put out Bow Down is because I woke up, I went into the studio, I had a chant in my head. It was aggressive, it was angry. It wasn't the Beyonce that wakes up every morning. It was the Beyonce that was angry. It was the Beyonce that felt the need to defend herself. And if this song never comes out, okay, I said it. And I listened to it after I finished, and I said, this is hot. I'm gonna put it out. I'm not gonna sell it. I'm gonna just put it out. People like it, great. They don't. They don't. And I won't do it every day because that's not who I am. But I feel strong. And anyone that says, oh, that is disrespectful, just imagine a person that hates you. Imagine a person that doesn't believe in you. And look in the mirror and say, bow down, bitch. And I guarantee you feel gangster. So listen to that song from that point of view. Again, if you didn't like it before.
And do y'all remember what I said about Beyonce and Jay allegedly sabotaging Rihanna's album release because she refused to freak off with them, and Diddy Rihanna's anti-album leaked on Tidal, a platform which is owned by Beyonce and Jay-Z. This leak forced Rihanna to release the album before its initial release date. Meanwhile, Beyonce's album, which was about to be released at the same time as Rihanna's album, got all the promo. Rihanna's album ended up doing just 124,000 copies the first week, while Beyonce's Lemonade album sold 653,000 copies. The feud got so bad that Rihanna and Beyonce were caught avoiding each other at the Tidal press conference. A source who spoke to the T-Page Naughty Gossip said they refused to stand next to each other or speak with each other. The whole show was carefully choreographed, and these two had almost nothing to do with each other now. It's unclear if Rihanna will be getting on the stand with all of this info. But baby, it's not looking too good for Beyonce because people are still digging, and they are piecing things together every day, one person said. The fact that Rihanna and Beyonce have not did a song together speaks volumes. That tells it all. Another person said, come on, Beyonce knows what Jay is like. She knows her man likes them young J-Def mess with Rihanna. But now I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about Rihanna exposing Beyonce's affiliations to Diddy? And do y'all believe Beyonce was really getting diddler at them freak-offs too? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And don't forget to click here to watch this other messy video.
Tell me about your audition with Jay-Z. Tell me what he said to you.
A really good audition.
Yes.
But before I met him, I was so nervous. I was shaking literally. But the moment I walked into the office, the atmosphere was so warm and welcoming.
And you had to sing a cappella for him?
Yes, I had to sing. I sang Fun to Replay. I sang another ballad from the album last time.
So then what did he say to you? He said something to you.
Oh yes, he said, we don't sing songs here, we sing artists. And there was this little pause, and I was nervous. But then he said, and we're interested. And there was this sudden feel of relief.
So then he said something about a window and a door or something.
Oh, then he said, he did a whole
I did a lot of homework on you, Miss Lady.
He said, there are two ways to leave here, either through the door with the deal sign or through this window, and we're on the 29th floor.
So you was like, where's the pen? Where's the paper? I'm signing.
Yeah.
And I'm sure working with Jay-Z, you've met Beyonce.
That's right.
How was it like meeting her?
I could not speak.
Really?
Really. That's someone I really looked up to for a long time. And it was after one of my showcases, and he was introducing me to everyone from the label. Then he finally said, okay, one more person. And there she was. And I could not speak.
And she gave you some advice.
Yes, she did. She just told me to, when I get on stage, let loose, have fun, and be in control.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to let it go.
No.
Because she'd be like, what? You know how she does it.